What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we are checking out the S9 from Rictor. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. All right, guys, we are out here with the S9 from Rictor. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the specs on the scooter. First and foremost, let's start with the motor, which is a rear hub motor. So over here in the rear, we've got a 500 watt motor that is controlled by our throttle right up here. It says push and go. All you gotta do is push and it goes. I mean, it's off right now, so it's not gonna go, but that's how you control the power from the motor right here. Now, overall performance so far on flat surfaces, it has a very sort of even keel power curve. Doesn't have a whole lot of low end torque, but it gets up to the top speed, which for me is about 21 miles per hour. In the app, we did unlock it, so it does go 25 potentially, but I am 220 pounds, and at 220 pounds, it looks like the max for me is about 21. I think I've hit 22 a couple of times, and we'll go through that a little bit in the ride test. But so far, motor performance is pretty good. Now, the next thing we should talk about is the battery. Now, what I'm going to do as I talk about the battery, which is a 15 plus amp hour battery here. I'm going to take these keys off. Now, with a lot of scooters, the battery removal is a arduous process. I mean, some of them don't have like a quick swappable battery anyway. We do see some that have batteries mounted up here, and those are pretty quick swap, but a lot of these ones that are under the deck tend to not be super quick swap. But this one is it's very convenient. So we're gonna take our key here. I'm gonna pop this off, and this just goes anywhere you like. I'll just set it on the rear here for now. And this is our battery. So we've got a nice little handle right here. Pop this handle up, and then the battery can be removed. We can swap it if we have another one, or if you want to take it inside to charge it, which is what I did. You got a little charge port right here. So this is a pretty nice battery. Plenty of foam, or I guess it's like foam. Some padding on this side, and then we've also got padding on the front and the rear to keep it in there so it doesn't jostle around. Putting it back in. Drop her in. See, she's not going anywhere. I'm shaking more than the battery is. Push this down. Pop our handle down on this side. And you don't actually need the key, which is nice. This is going to snap into place. So you take the keys out, slide the plate on there, and then boom. This goes back into our keel here, and we've swapped our batteries. So I like the battery on this quite a bit. Definitely something a little bit different than we've seen on a lot of these, battery under the platform scooters. So battery-wise, pretty good. As far as safety goes, starting up here, we do have this bell, which is interesting. It's just this rotational bell, so it goes on forever. Infinite bells here, if you will. We've also got turning signals, so we'll go ahead and turn the scooter on here. It's just a short press to turn it on. A little bit longer than that, I guess. Short press to turn it on, and then we can use our turn signals. So we can put on the left turn signal. Boom, we have the turn signal right there. Swap that to the right one. You see our right turn signals on. And we also have front turn signals, which is a little bit different than most. So we got a turn signal up here. They are a little bit brighter than what I think is coming across in the GoPro, but these aren't super bright. However, the rear tail light, so go ahead and double tap this to turn our light on. A little light icon down here. That's gonna turn our front light, which is mounted up really high. Normally where we see some scooter headlights down here, they just have a reflector, which is nice. They are offering, something down there, but the light is actually up a lot taller, which is safer. Now, when that's turned on, we've got our tail light, which is turned on. Turn this turn signal off, and you can see it on my foot down there. When you brake, you do have brake light integration. Now, it is the morning. We're getting a little bit of diffusion from up there, but it's still fairly bright. And this taillight, when you pull it for the brake, is actually pretty bright for a tail light, which is interesting. Turn the lights off. We're gonna double tap this, kaboom, and then let's talk about the folding. So all you have to do for folding, and you can leave the scooter on if you want to, we're gonna line up this, which is our hook catch. You're just gonna go down here at the bottom. So we're gonna go over here. There's a secondary safety mechanism on this side. So you just press that in, pop this down, and then it's going to fold right down. And then, like I mentioned, we're just going to line this up with down here at the bottom, kaboom, and then we were able to pick it up. So it does make it a fairly compact package, which is nice if you're looking to transport this in a smaller car. This is a fairly small package. Still, I mean, it's still heavy. We do have a large battery in there, which is, you know, the battery, the motor, that is probably literally 85% of the weight. So, you know, it is a little bit heavier. But if you want to take the battery out for transport, you could do that very easily, as we demonstrated earlier. Pop that back on there, and then this thing becomes a lot lighter. It's probably about 10 to 12 pounds, that battery that's in here. So to unfold it, we're just going to come down here, rock this latch a little bit, then we can pick it up. Come back over here, adjust this. Gonna make sure the screw's out of the way. Kaboom and kabam, and it is folded up. And again, the scooter is still on. Now, once the scooter is on, we have a couple of modes here. So right now it's in sports mode. If you press this once, it goes into eco. That's what that says there. And then drive, and then sports mode. So sports mode is where you get your top speed up to that 25 miles per hour. On here, you do have the option, or I guess not on here, but on the app that comes with it, you do have the option to disable sport mode and adjust the power or just the top speed of sports mode in the app as well. So if you were getting this for your kids and you didn't want to go very fast, you could disable sports mode. So all they have is drive, which goes to, you know, 10-ish, 12 miles an hour. We'll demonstrate that one. So that's kind of cool, kind of a nice safety feature. Now, it also, in the app, you can do a non-quick start. So some of those Limes or Bird scooters where you have to kick start it a little bit, get going, then you could use the throttle. You do have the option to put that in there. I don't have that currently enabled on this one, but they do offer a lot of safety features like that, where you can sort of like lock it, make it a little bit safer. They also have a cruise control, which you can set. I don't have the cruise control on. I'm not personally a huge fan of cruise control. I don't mind just, you know, holding down the throttle, but if you do like cruise control, you can set that in the app as well. The pairing process was pretty simple. The app seems to be, you know, like pretty simple, pretty easy to use. The only thing for me was when I wanted to unlock that top speed, it was a little bit difficult to find that. Once you pair your scooter, there's going to be a menu in the top left section. You know, if this is the app kind of over here. So like I'm on an iPhone, so it's like, you know, the 3 bars. Click on that, there's device settings, and that's gonna pop down where you can do the cruise control, set the top speed to max, disable sports mode, which I believe you can also disable sports mode from the user interface on the app before you go into the settings stuff. But that's where you're gonna adjust a lot of those settings in there. So that is pretty much an overview of the specs. I guess the last thing to talk about is the brakes. So we do have 2 mechanical disc brakes, one in the front, one in the rear. They're not incredibly huge discs, but it is nice that we do have 2 braking surfaces as well. As far as the ride feel goes, the front suspension, rear suspension, this is a full suspension scooter. Not a whole lot of travel on these. Like, these aren't a huge amount of travel, but that compared with, or that, you know, in tandem with the tires on here, make this a very cush ride. And then again, if you don't want to unplug the battery, you can always pop this out and you can charge it right here. Just got this nice little spring latch that pops back down. Everything seems to be very waterproof. I believe they have this at IPX5 rated, and so far I think that makes sense to me based on the design and some of the components they've used here. So that is going to cover for the specs. So let's go ahead and do the ride test. All right, guys, we are out here for the ride test on the S9, and we've got the scooter turned on. We'll go ahead and turn it off real quick just to go through that whole process. So to turn the scooter on, we're just going to short press this one. It's about a second or so. It'll pop on. Right now it's in eco mode. We do have 4 out of 5 bars here for our battery. We had to ride it out here to the test area, and we did some riding yesterday, so we're at 4 bars right now. So let's go ahead and try it out. So it's in eco. Let's go ahead and see how fast we can go. Try to get a good angle for you on the GoPro here. So in eco, it's going to about 6 miles per hour, which I believe is the same if you unlock the top speed or not. 6 miles per hour is pretty slow. I mean, it's very you know, high density area sort of environment, kind of creeping along. I got some people coming up here, so We'll just take it nice and slow. And so 6 miles per hour feels pretty slow, but it is, it's cruising. Morning. And we go ahead and kick it into drive. Do a little downhill here. And the suspension is super nice. I mean, the GoPro's bounce a little bit, but I feel like I'm bouncing a little bit more. So drive, looks like it's gonna take us to about 9-10 miles per hour. Before we get to this little bit of an incline, let's go ahead and put it into sport mode. And this is gonna unlock our full speed potential here. A little bit of an incline, but it didn't really seem to slow down. So cruised right up that. And we should be getting up to, like I said, for me, it's about 21 miles per hour is our top speed. Kind of bending down a little bit for a better view, so the scooter's not, you know, terribly tall. So yeah, so we're going 21, 22 is sort of my top speed. Now let's go ahead and take this a little bit off-roading. They do mention that this is for all sorts of environments. Now the tires don't have a whole lot of tread to them, so there's probably a better tire that we could be using for, you know, dirt and off-road trails, things like that. We're just gonna hit this a little bit just to get a feel for how it performs over here, which seems to perform pretty well. Honestly, that is not too bad. It's gonna hit a little bit of an incline here. Not really slowing down on these smaller inclines, which is nice. So if you live in a spot and you don't have to tackle any super huge hills, looks like it's gonna handle those just fine. So the next thing we talk about are the brakes. So let's go ahead and do a brake test. Again, from our top speed here. Oh, wow. I mean, that was probably 6 feet. And I could have probably skidded and gotten a little bit faster there. Now when you're braking, it's the difference between, if you lock out the brakes, in general, you will stop faster depending on what surface you're on. However, you do lose control. So when they talk about like not squealing the brakes, just coming to a nice, secure stop, the reason you do that is because you're still maintaining control of the scooter, which is nice. So as of now, we are just cruising. We got the bell over here. Do little jingle bells. Turn signals are easy to access. Don't really have to take my hand off of the grips, which is nice. Now we'll go over here to the test hill. We test a lot of e-bikes over here. So let's see how the scooter performs on the overpass incline here. Have a steep decline here. Braking is nice. I can stop on the decline. All right, made it about a third of the way up. All right. So yeah, like I said, since it's not getting its top speed with me, what are you doing over there? Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry for this, guys. This microphone sometimes got a mind of its own. So we're not getting full speed, so I assumed that it would struggle on the hill quite a bit. But this is pretty steep. As far as braking goes, so much control with the braking. And for mechanical brakes, I feel like I don't have to put down that much force to get a full stop out of it, which is nice. Turning radius is nice. Let's see if we hit this at a slight angle, see if we can do with some speed here. That was close. But definitely smooth. So we got a lot of these, cracks and bumps and stuff in here, and the full suspension really does absorb quite a bit of that. Well, We are cruising. Again, top speed is about 21 miles an hour here. But we are flying. It definitely is a lot faster than the 16 miles an hour that you get before you unlock it. Because I had tried to figure it out, couldn't figure it out, took me a little bit longer. Now we're good to go. Morning. Maybe some foragers out here. Very maneuverable. Again, doing another brake test. Super easy, nice controlled stop. So guys, I, you know, for the price, this seems like a pretty good get around town kind of scooter. It's portable. The battery actually does come out very easily, which again is super nice and kind of uncommon on these types of scooters. So that's a huge plus for me. Love the full suspension. The braking is nice. And all in all, I have enjoyed my time with it. So if you guys have any more questions for me, let me know down in the comments. I love talking to you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.